Yeah. Well, great. I'm so excited about where we are on our journey today. And, in our journey, um, we have this amazing opportunity to move forward. So as we look at where we are this year, we're looking at timeless wisdom, evolutionary vision. And we look at the timeless wisdom, meaning our ancient teachings, and we look at where we're headed to, where we're headed today, where our future is headed. And when we look at where we're headed, it means that we have to have vision. And when I spoke about vision last week, and when we were led so beautifully in spiritual practice, asking questions, we talked a lot about the questions that we ask ourselves that actually help to evolve our vision, our vista, having that foresight. And mentioned the word sintonización in Spanish, which is visioning in Spanish, which is is attuning to ourselves. So this month we're open to the possibilities, and today in particular it's release and let go. Now I want to start with this quote from the Talmud. It says, the dream not interpreted is like a letter from God not read. The dream not interpreted is like a letter from God not read.
Oh.
And I imagine for myself receiving a letter from God. Not that God is outside of me, but even if we were to just kind of entertain that for a moment, that we receive a letter from God, what might that letter say? Now, I know left to some of our own devices, some of us still have this old, antiquated, outdated idea that God would probably be wagging its finger at us and probably saying, you haven't been good, or what are you doing, or this is not what I intended for you. Some of us might say, oh, that letter from God would be an amazing love letter. And some of us, because of fear, would not even allow ourselves to read the letter because, wow, almighty, all powerful God is writing me a letter. Like, I dare not open it. I dare not reveal, I don't want to know. How many of us so many times don't ask questions because I don't want to know. And if I don't ask, then I don't know. And then if I don't know, then I don't have to do anything about it. I don't have to go towards it or against it or anything like that. And so, what I want to do is quote one of my dear friends, Eugene Holden. He, for a long time, led our prayer ministry. And here's what he says. He says, fear keeps you hanging on to what doesn't work in your life. Woo! How many of you can feel that? Fear keeps you hanging on to what doesn't work in your life. I don't know what it's going to be like. So I'm afraid to let go. I'm afraid to release because I at least know what this misery feels like. I'm afraid to let go. So fear keeps you hanging on to what doesn't work in your life. It also keeps you from surrendering to your good. Wow. I mean, this statement right here, we can talk for weeks on end just with this particular quote. Surrender has two sides. You surrender all that does not serve you, then surrender to your greatest good. Wow, Eugene, right where you are, I bless you and I thank you for those amazing words. That fear keeps us hanging on to the things that no longer serve us. I mean, you know, put it in the chat, raise your hand, say amen. How many of us have been held back by fear because we don't know who we're going to become, what we're going to be, what we're going to find? We're afraid to let go, and it keeps us hanging on to the things that no longer serve us. But more important than that is that fear does not allow us to accept our good. So we, as he suggests, we get to surrender and let go of the things that no longer serve us. And then we get to surrender to the good. I mean, there's a quote in AA somewhere that says, surrender to win. Imagine throwing up the white flag and you surrender and you actually win. This is the power of release and let go. This is the power that we have right now at our fingertips. This is the way to unblock yourself from all of the things that are actually designed for your highest good. Is written about in our Science of Mind book, page 339, in the 5th paragraph. It says, you must increase your receptivity, continuously extend and expand your comprehension. So how I begin to let go, how I begin to release, how I begin to surrender is that I must continue to allow myself to grasp and to attune, like in Spanish, sintonización. I must continue to attune myself and align myself with that which is for my highest good. I must be open and receptive in order to release and to recognize those things that no longer serve me, in order to have what does serve me and what is for my highest good to come forth from me. Now, here's the idea of release, because sometimes we think that we have to release only the bad. But I want to show us how we get to release the good. Everybody, right where you are, take in a nice deep breath and hold it. And hold it. And don't let that breath go. Don't let it go. Don't you dare let it go. Hold on to it. Hold on to it like you needed that breath. I'm going to let you release that breath right now, because if I don't, I won't have an audience to speak to anymore. But I hope you understand and get my point, is that we must release, we must let go, even of our good. That breath, you say, oh, I need to inhale in order to live. But guess what? At some point, you have to also release that breath so that you can take in another breath. You have to increase your receptivity, which means that as I increase my receptivity, I have to let go in order to be receptive for something new. That breath that we had already taken in, it already did what it was supposed to do. It already circulated through it. It oxygenated the brain and every organ and every function, and it helped the blood to flow, and it did what it was supposed to do. And then we have to let it go. We have to release our good. We cannot hold on to our good. We have to release our good. We have to release that which no longer serves us. So hopefully by that exercise right there, you recognize that it's not just about releasing what no longer serves us, but it's also releasing what we thought was for our highest and best, which was that breath, right? It's kind of like, this breath is for my highest and best. It's going to keep me alive. But at some point, we must release it and be open and be receptive and grow in our receptivity. The other thing is this: ignorance stays with you until the day of enlightenment, until your vision towards the spirit broadens and casts out the image of a no longer useful littleness. Oops, did it say that? What? Oops, there go the science of mind reading us. You know, you've just been read. Okay, Sally, you've just been read. Ignorance stays with you until the day of your enlightenment, until your vision towards spirit broadens and cast out the image of a no longer useful littleness. Imagine your littleness, your smallness. Imagine all of that being cast out. The will should hold it in place until the creative genius of the inner life transforms the image of limitation and transmutes it into liberty. Oh my goodness. What this is reminding me of, and what I am reminding you of, is that to the degree in which you hold on to your littleness, that inner genius within you cannot transmute or transform your life. That within you, there is an inner genius that we also must release. We have to release and let go of that inner genius so that it might transform our littleness into the grand divine idea of life in, through, and as us. Holy cow. Imagine that right where you are, there's an inner genius just waiting to be released, almost like this inner genie, if you will, the genie in the bottle. We must surrender. We must let it go. Now, mind you, this talk is not as much for you as it is for me. I'm excited about this because as it is written, as it is said, that if you want to learn something, teach it. If you want to learn something, teach it. And wow, you know, today is a day where I get to recognize all the places in my life that I've been holding on, to what is no longer serving me, and I get to let it go. I get to trust and allow that indwelling genius within me to shine forth in a way that it has never shined before, in a way that's never shown before. And as this is true for me, then it is true for you, because when it happens for one, it happens for all. Where have you been holding on to your littleness only because you think that, you know, if I let this go, then who am I? Well, let me tell you, let me tell you who you are. Let me remind you, yes, that you are free, as Bertha says in the chat, free to be me, that you are free to enjoy your life to the fullest expression. But to the degree in which we're holding on, we cannot let anything new, make two fists with your hands real quick. And then let me try to give you something. Let me try to give you $1 million. Let me try to give you a hug. Let me try to give you a plate. Let me try to give you a gift. You can't until you do what? You release and let go of what you've been holding on to so that you're now open and receptive. Woo! I ain't mad about today's lesson. I'll tell you that. I am not upset about what's happening today. So here's my friend Ray Jordan, who's an amazing practitioner as well. She led our Vision Core for Centers for Spiritual Living for a number of years, and she has led many vision quests and has always been someone steeped in visioning, meaning that we open up again, that we are asking those questions. What is the highest and best? What is God's grand divine idea for my life? Asking those questions and listening, right? Here's what she says. She says all spiritual work is actually the process of subtraction. What? Subtraction? Oh my goodness. How so? She says the releasing of old ideas about you and false beliefs about life. By releasing old ideas and false beliefs, you welcome insights which reveal how to open to your highest good. Wow. All spiritual work is actually the process of subtraction. All along in our spiritual growth and unfoldment, what we've been taught is we move out of victimhood. Life happens to me. And then we move into this, we release that victimhood. There's a release process, right? We let go, that's a subtraction. We let go of victimhood. And now we recognize that life happens by me, that by the power of my word, that where my attention goes, my energy flows and the results show, right? We begin to manifest things. And then all of a sudden, this is like, yeah, we're driving down the street in a new ride, right? We got new digs, we got new threads, we have all this stuff. We get to marry the person of our dreams. We get to have all these things and we start accumulating, and we think that spirituality, and we think that, proof of our consciousness is by the accumulation or the addition of these things. And yet, what Ray is saying here is that spirituality is actually about subtraction, right? It's really about recognizing the addition and the subtraction, the addition and the subtraction, the addition and the subtraction, that it is about the ebb and the flow. Because what good does it do us to accumulate and continue to add and add and add and add and add, and then have no room for anything new to come in? So our spiritual maturity is really about accepting and releasing, being open, releasing and letting go of the things that no longer serve us, our way of thinking, our way of being that keeps us rigid and keeps us stuck. But when we subtract, when we release the antiquated thoughts that keep us stuck, we are open and receptive. Wow. I want to be open and receptive. You know what? If I'm enjoying the life that I have right now, because believe me, nothing has to be wrong, beloveds. If you're having an amazing life right now, then you have probably practiced release and let go. And if you think that you have arrived because your life is so good, wait, there's more. And this is exactly what I'm talking about, right? Order now, and you can have even more of an amazing life. Sign up now to release, and you can have even more. And that is, I think, what is so exciting about being reminded of this truth one more time, that my life can be going great, and I can still practice release and surrender and letting go. And it just continues to evolve and expand and deepen. Or we could be at a place where it's just like, holy cow, my life is circling the drain. Everything is going wrong, going wrong, going wrong. And guess what? Even then, you can release, you can let go, you can surrender and win. And that is the vision. That is the vision of being open and receptive to what God has in store as your life. Because remember, your life is not separate from the life of God. Oh, by the way, your life is not separate from the life of God. Your life is the life of God, and you get to choose. So why are you settling for less, when we can be living a life beyond our wildest dreams, when we can be co-creating and and actually assisting in awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence? That's why I get so excited about non-Spanish speakers being able to say to someone in Spanish, a valorar y potenciar todo, inspiramos una vida plena y alegre. Imagine spreading the word right there in Spanish, and it not even being a language that you speak fluently, but because you've been hanging out with us, you know how to say that. You know how to just drop and plant that seed everywhere you go. Wow. That, beloveds, that inspires me. I am blessed to know all of these people that I've quoted today, and to have read the Science of Mind book. And to really take it in. I'm super blessed by this next quote, and it's actually a song. Such a deep song by Ricky Byers, who has inspired me all of my time in our Science of Mind philosophy. In her song, I Feel Like Letting Go, it's from her CD, In the Land of I Am. I took out an excerpt of what she's talking about. And see, I'm excited because the way she writes this song, it's a call. It's this inner call. She says, I got a sweet invitation, and the background sings, a mandate of ecstasy. Now, ecstasy is this overwhelming joy, right? So imagine that you have, beloved, this sweet invitation, and that this invitation is a mandate of overwhelming joy. She says, let go of your will. And the background sings, drop your tools and follow me. Follow that vision, follow that insight, follow that which you've been open and receptive to. Because what it is that indwelling life, she says, I am the life within you. It's time to be free. I'm the life within you. It is time to be free. It is time to be free from everything that has kept you back, everything that has kept you in your smallness, in your littleness, everything that has dulled your life from shining. It is time to be free. I am the life within you. This is what invitation you're getting. You're getting this invitation of overwhelming ecstasy and joy and happiness. It's a sweet invitation that it's time to be free. And so she sings, I feel like letting go, let God, let go. And then she says that if I can Just let go. Heaven is at hand. Heaven is the dwelling place of the Most High. If I can let go, I am in heaven, right? New life is awaiting while I'm rearranging these old facts of mine. Ain't that the truth? Isn't it like being on the Titanic and rearranging the furniture? It's gonna sink, baby boo. It's gonna sink. Stop rearranging the furniture. It's sinking. Don't do it. So, a new life is awaiting us, and yet we're trying to like rearrange. Oh, but what about my job? Oh, but what about this? Oh, but what about that? Hello, this is a sweet invitation. She says, I'm tired of holding on. My heart is making an authentic appeal. And again, it's such a sweet invitation, a mandate of ecstasy. Don't hold on any longer. Drop your tools and follow me. And where she resolves is, I won't abandon my vision. It's time to release. I feel like letting go. Let go. Let God. Let go. Somewhere within you is that sweet invitation that is calling you to step in and to step forward into the vision, God's vision of your life. It's saying, hello, hello, buenos dias, hola, hello, wake up. It is calling you to ecstasy, to overwhelming joy, overwhelming peace, overwhelming abundance, overwhelming harmony. That sweet invitation is the life within you saying, let go. Let go of the things that no longer serve you. Let that indwelling presence be your GPS. Let that internal presence guide you to the life beyond your wildest dreams. I am so, so grateful for this message today. And I can't wait for my own surrender. I can't wait for me to say, I won't abandon my vision. I'm not going to abandon my vision. I am standing firm in my vision. And I invite all of you to get with a practitioner, to get with a minister, to get with a visioning crew and begin to vision and ask those indwelling questions that what is for the highest and the best for your life. And then to follow that vision. One day at a time, one breath at a time, one heartbeat at a time. We get to release and let go. And when we do, we get to live a life beyond our wildest dreams. It's like the Talmud said, right? That dream, uninterpreted, is like a letter from God that hasn't been read. Beloveds, your letter from the Most High is awaiting for you to read it so that you might embrace it and live your life fully, joyfully. I am complete, and so it is, and now it is.